Hey there, Skullheads. I'm Snags.
And I'm old Silky.
And I'm Allen.
Yes, Beatle Bailey is back with us. We're going to be talking professional wrestling tonight, but first we got a few housekeeping things to take care of. We got to pimp the new Wet Shoelaces album. Allen's band Wet Shoelaces has dropped another album, Kaleidoscope Pies. Tell us a little bit about that. Tell us about the album, where people can snatch it up.
It's just released on Bandcamp. That's really the only place that you can get it. It's 15 tracks, and it's real instruments, like physical instruments, like Steve's bass, my horn, mixed with synthesized music. Steve has a collection of digital instruments now. That's crazy. He's got a digital piano. He's got 2 or 3 synthesizers now. I can't even tell you how he works these things. I mean, I'm starting to learn, but you can download like a whole brass section, and incorporate that into your music, and it sounds like brass instruments.
Nice.
Because it's all MIDI, but MIDI has come a long way. It's basically a mixture of organic music with digital or synthesized music. And the cover is Kaleidoscope Pies. I'm sure you get the reference.
Yeah, Beatles.
Yeah.
Kaleidoscope.
Yeah. So the cover, Steve does all these covers with AI, to get these images generated, and it's a bunch of pies resting on a counter with the tops all looking like something you would see if you look through a kaleidoscope.
That's wicked.
So nice.
Pretty trippy. So
yeah, I saw it. I'm subscribed to Wet Shoelaces on Bandcamp, so I got the notice today. I saw the album cover.
I gotta tell you, I really had a hard time touting our stuff for the first, 10 to 15 years, because it was just goofy. It was just whatever. We were just having fun. But right. I listened to this. I'm like, I can't believe this is us, Steve. This is great. This is really good.
I think if you're able to step back and hear what other people hear, there's a lot going on in some of those songs.
Yeah. So thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, I remember the early shit. I dug the early shit too.
Well, thank you. I mean, not that I didn't like it. I just had a hard time. Hey, this is really, check this out. This is great. No, it was just stuff that
if you like Ween and Frank Zappa and the Residents, I mean, that's that kind of vibes. Yeah. Good shit.
Yeah.
All right. So on a more serious note, we have to say goodbye to Brent Hines from Mastodon, who died in a motorcycle accident yesterday about 3 blocks from my house.
Now he had left the band.
He left the band in March.
And there was some bad blood going back and forth. So it's really
the initial announcement from the band was just, he's moving on and we wish him the best. And then he kind of leaked out that he was miserable touring all the time. It was kind of like a prison sentence, and
he really made it dark.
He wanted to do more than metal, and he felt restricted there. And they rumor has it that they asked him to leave, probably because of the negativity and everything. He was a major component of that band, sang like 30% of the songs,
Yeah.
And
so it's gonna be interesting to see what they do with him gone.
Well, they've already had other guitar players in place since March. They've been working without him, but any chance at a reunion is now gone. And this is somebody that, regardless of recent bad blood, this is like a brother to them. I'm sure it's just devastating.
It just makes it all more bittersweet that they had such a falling out, but as brothers can do, But the other thing, I saw them on the Back to the Beginning world streaming simulcast, and they were phenomenal. They opened the show.
That version of Supernaut they did was just mind blowing. So
I wish they'd sung the lyrics. The drummer kind of sings a little bit towards the end, but they rocked it.
It was all about percussion. They had all the extra drummers in there, and I mean they're still fierce without them. I saw them in around Thanksgiving 2021. It was an amazing show. It's a gut punch for everybody. So goodbye, Brent Hines, R.I.P.
Yeah.
And on the wrestling note, who else passed away recently?
We lost Hulk Hogan shortly while they were discussing Ozzy passing away and Chuck Mangione. We brought this up last week, Hulk Hogan, and it's easy to. I mean, I've been in mourning of Ozzy being gone. It's just so surreal. It's easy when celebrities all seem to, they always say they die in threes. But just this past several weeks has been quite a few people passing away. It's easy to forget that Hulk Hogan passed away when you're looking at these other people as well. So we did want to mention Hulk Hogan. A huge component or founding, to the history of wrestling. Hulk Hogan.
He really put it on the map back in the 80s. I was actually an extra in his Hulk Hogan movie that he did I think it's like 89.
You did. I saw that.
No holds barred. I was an extra. Absolutely. Yeah, I was like in the crowd in the background during some of the fights and stuff.
That's great. I'd have to. Now I went to a wrestling 1984 at probably the Merriweather Post Pavilion in Maryland, and I saw. I'm trying to remember, like Hulk Hogan. Some of the other wrestlers, the British Bulldogs, Paul Orndorff, Rowdy Piper. Mm-hmm. So I got to see some cool. I don't know if Andre the Giant was there. Hard to say in '84 who was touring. I know Andre was nearing the end of his ability to just be in the ring with his back and everything.
I saw Andre the Giant in 1983. Fighting with three midgets.
Nice.
They were known as midgets back then. I'm saying the word midgets. I don't know.
Well, as Bill Burr said, what sounds cooler, little people or fucking midget? Midget just sounds fucking tougher.
It was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna play something for you guys that is just sets the tone here. Hopefully this sounds.
This is a Ric Flair thing from Facebook.
Yeah.
Here is the world heavyweight champion. Girls, why don't you give it to him one more time? That's who's standing here today. The world heavyweight champion. Only one. Oh, girls, I can't stand it. And I gotta talk. We all gotta be quiet. Nikita Koloff, we've only just begun. That's the end of it. Dusty Rhodes, don't ever make the mistake of sticking your nose in my business. If I'm down and out, I'll get up and take care of myself. So Dusty Rhodes, remember, when you walk out here, talking Ric Flair, don't think you can walk in that ring and give me a hand or try to help me out and ease the tension in our relationship. Philadelphia, I'm going to carry it up. Pensacola, Florida, when I get to town, we're going to treat all you women the way women ought to be treated. Because the NWA and some real men are going to take that Civic Center apart, and then we all going to be over a rodeo driving the women wild. Miami Beach, get ready. We are tour, and we're doing it better than anybody else alive. Now, Buddy Landell, it's so hard for me to sit back here in this studio looking at a guy out here hollering my name. When last year, I spent more money on spilled liquor in bars from one side of this world to the other than you made. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, hip stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine ride, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators off.
That's it, brother.
How lucky were those
That was
people?
hilarious.
There's only one.
Right there. Oh my God.
That, to me, that's one of the greatest. That's up there with shit that Muhammad Ali would say.
Oh, he was the best by far.
You know.
Yeah, he was also
Ali
a real fighter, but yeah.
Right. Ali was the fucking goat, but you know, the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, dealing.
It was cerebral. Ali was cerebral.
Oh, I got my dog barking with my Ric Flair woo. That's my dog, Charles Bukowski. Everybody.
No, it was. They used, they brought brains into the brawn. Guys like Ric Flair, Bobby Heenan, Roddy Piper.
Yep.
Very funny, witty, like stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
Stuff.
And you wonder if they memorized these speeches or if it was just off the cuff.
I don't know. You never
cards.
You never know.
We just ate that shit up.
Oh my God. Tell me about it. Yeah.
I got a little insight into that. So I listened to the 3-hour Ric Flair interview with Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah, me too.
And he said he would come up with this stuff while he was driving from gig to gig. He just, while he's, that one lane down the highway gets pretty monotonous, and he would just brainstorm his next rant while he's doing that. Yeah, and he got the woo from Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yeah.
Listen to his old Jerry Lee Lewis tunes and
Great Balls of Fire. He says woo in there, and that was it.
Yeah, that interview was great.
Yeah, that we'll link the Joe Rogan interview from the Click Pit so you cats can hear it.
Yeah, Ric Flair, he modeled himself after Buddy Rogers, which was the original Nature Boy, and then also Gorgeous George and even Muhammad Ali. I feel like that was all, blended into this Ric Flair versus Richard Fleer. And much like Ozzy, in this nonstop persona that everybody attached an identity to, and then now as the wrestler or the singer or the actor, your reputation, now you're playing up to that reputation. You have to outdrink everybody because you're Ozzy or you're Ric Flair or Rick Springfield.
Don't say Ric Flair and Rick Springfield in the same sentence, dude. Come on.
All right. Anyway, Ric Flair had to he was always on, just nonstop partying, touring. They would do a wrestling match, and he would tell the entire arena, we're over at the Marriott, and they would all show up.
What exactly he would say is he goes over this in the Joe Rogan interview too. We're down at the Marriott at so and so. Meet us in the lobby. Girls 18 to 28, no boyfriends, no husbands. We'll see you down there. And then they go down there, and the lobby would just be packed with all these girls that want to
chicks wanting to get railed.
Yeah, and they would each of them would grab a few and take them back to their room.
Yeah. And how do you people scream, personification, what misogyny or what, like, hey, they showed up. So
yeah, I mean, you got to be careful with all that, but I think that the 70s was just a time of sexual liberation, and a lot of it was a big party for both sides. The girls were having just as much fun as the guys.
Yep.
Yeah. So, Alan, I wanted to ask you. So where were you? You were up in New York?
Yeah, I've been in upstate New York my whole life, basically.
Okay.
Yes.
So what time frame are we talking? Late 70s, mid 80s?
For me? Yeah. Late 70s. When I was about 10 years old, I started to understand professional wrestling. It was on
I feel like that's where we all, or most of us.
I started watching Georgia Championship Wrestling when I was about 10, and I'm the least wrestling fan in this conversation, but I did watch it back then when I was around 10
I will
years
say,
old.
as the 80s went on, you were a little older, and the music thing just really took over, and the wrestling was more of a nostalgic thing, but you didn't really tune in the way.
Right. I lost interest in my teens, early
mid-80s. Yeah.
Basically because Bob Backlund was the champion, the most boring, run-of-the-mill, good guy, great, good person, good wrestler, but whatever, this was pre-Flash,
right.
This was just this fat guy, and this fat guy, and let's get him in the ring and see what happens.
We had some characters in Georgia Championship Wrestling. Mr. Wrestling #2 was my favorite.
Yeah.
And then Tommy Rich, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair showed up every now and then.
Tommy Wildfire Rich was like awesome.
But they weren't over the top. They were a character. And I had the same thing up here. It was Chief J Strongbow. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
I remember Chief Strongbow.
Haystack Calhoun.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what a name, man. Haystack.
Haystack
Calhoun.
Captain Lou Albano.
Yeah, Captain Lou was phenomenal with the rubber bands hanging off his face.
And Piper would always refer to him as Lou Albino.
Uh-huh.
So anyway. So, and then, we had Andre the Giant, I remember, right? And Bruno Sammartino.
Yep.
Was the champ for a long time.
Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah.
Right. And then, so that was the late 70s. And then in the early 80s, I remember Bob Backlund was defeated by the Iron Sheik. And it wasn't like a big WrestleMania event. It was just another Saturday afternoon thing.
That's because they were going to hand over the title to Hogan. Yeah, and Bob, and I know this because there's a great history of the WWE documentary I watched on YouTube, and I will link that as well. But
the Sheik.
Bob Backlund was a real athlete, and Hulk Hogan wasn't, and he did not want to lose the title to Hulk Hogan. Right. The Iron Sheik was an amateur Olympic grade wrestler in Iran.
Yep.
And he was an assistant on the U.S. Olympic wrestling team. So he was a real athlete too. So Bob Backlund was like, I'll lose to the Iron Sheik. And that motherfucker can lose to Hulk Hogan.
Right.
And the Iron Sheik was a professional heel, so he didn't mind doing that.
Yeah.
And his manager at the time was Freddie Blassie, but they called him the Ayatollah Blassie.
Ayatollah Blassie, yep.
It was ridiculous. And I didn't realize that he was actually not Blassie, but the Iron Sheik was actually from. I just thought it was another guy from anywhere playing a part. He was actually from Iran. I never knew that until I watched that documentary.
Blown away. They always paired him with Nikolai Volkov.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, the evil Russian.
He was from like Chicago or some
shit. Which, so I thought they were all fake, but the Iron Sheik was, goddamn it, he was from Iran.
Yeah.
There's a funny story in that documentary. It's called The Sheik, and I'll link that in the click pit as well. But
the crux of, I think, the whole turning point at least up here in the world with the World Wrestling Federation, was those like a 3-week span where Backlund was defeated by the Iron Sheik. And then within the next 2 weeks, Hogan defeated the Iron Sheik. And we were like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
After 6 years of Bob Backlund, you've had 2 changes with the championship.
Yeah, it was like 80, 83.
84.
84.
It was January of 84.
Okay.
And at the same time, they changed what was called Victory Corner, which featured just some stupid guy in a suit with a microphone interviewing a wrestler.
Yeah.
They instead of Victory Corner, it became Piper's Pit. That's when Piper's Pit started.
Yeah.
And if it weren't for Roddy Piper, you could kind of argue WrestleMania may have never happened, because the whole stupid story with Lou Albano being in Cyndi Lauper's Girls Just Want to Have Fun video.
Right.
Played her father. He goes on Piper's Pit and says, I'm her manager. I brought her from nothing to where she is now. Just claims complete control of her career. And so he gets, it's like a serial. It goes on for weeks.
Oh, yeah.
And Piper brings on her actual manager, David Wolf, and they get into a fight. Not a physical fight, but an argument. He storms off, and it all culminates in Cyndi Lauper finally coming on the show. Lou Albano comes in and just says, tell Cyndi, tell him how I made you from nothing into what you are. Tell him I wrote the words to Time After Time, Cyndi. Tell him women are nothing, Cyndi. They're nothing without a man behind. And she loses her shit. Flips the table. She starts whacking Lou Albano with her purse.
Nice.
And all of that led to a championship match between the women. The woman, Lou Albano picked the reigning champ, and Cyndi Lauper got this newcomer, Wendy Richter, to beat the fabulous Moolah.
I remember that.
Get the belt. And then, I don't know, other stuff happened, which led to WrestleMania between, it was a tag team match between Piper and Mr. Wonderful and Hogan and Mr. T.
Piper and Paul Orndorff, Mr. Wonderful, they were, I almost wonder if they weren't really enemies, because that shit was, Piper was just so intense when he went off on somebody.
Oh,
it was the real deal.
I look at professional wrestling as the sports version of soap operas.
Absolutely.
Well, now back then it just seemed, my dad would order a pizza, he'd go out, and I had the whole house to myself, and it was literally 4 hours of wrestling.
Yeah.
And you just kind of discovered it, and you're like, oh my God, this is still on. And it was around 9 o'clock. I would stop and watch Miami Vice, obviously. And then you'd come back to the wrestling, and it was just, you saw Gordon Soley.
That's the thing. Yeah. I didn't know there was a Gordon Soley until we got cable TV, which gave us TBS.
Yeah, he was the announcer on Georgia Championship Wrestling.
So he was the Gene Okerlund of the South.
Yes. Yes.
We were like, we've got a whole nother world of wrestling to watch now.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And just the characters, the colorful characters. I made like a list. I wanted to just, Lou Albano, Hulk Hogan, Junkyard Dog, the Von Erichs. Do you remember them?
Absolutely.
The Freebirds, Superfly Jimmy Snuka, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Rowdy Piper, Road Warriors, British Bulldogs, the Wild Samoans back in the 70s. Rocky Johnson, obviously Dwayne The Rock, King Kong Bundy, Macho Man Randy Savage, Hacksaw Jim Dugan, Jake the Snake Roberts. I mean, it just
Harley Race was a big one.
Harley Race, yeah.
And Vince McMahon scooped them up one by one.
Yeah.
And brought them up north.
And I wanted to tell, we were talking about wrestling. back in high school, how you do with teenagers. You know, you're banging around. We go here, we go there. Somebody's got a car. We're riding around, and we end up at somebody's house. I don't know why we were there. I don't know who knew this guy. It's just such one of those stories that's way back, and I barely remember. But at one point, the guy got down on the ground and said, "Who wants to wrestle?" And it was so creepy. We were just like, okay, I got to get home. And we literally raced out of this guy's living room.
Oh my God.
But he was literally down, hands and knees on the ground, coffee table pushed out. Who wants to wrestle? And it honestly, I think if someone had gotten close enough, it would have turned in. He would have flipped it. The harmless guy to date rape. I mean, it was John Wayne Gacy moment.
Yeah, sure. That's not. Oh God, good God.
But so
that was creepy.
Yeah,
for years
Thanks
after
for that. Thanks for that story.
Just like wrestling.
Well, it was funny. But we saw the comedy in it. For years after that, whenever it got quiet or something, somebody would go, "So, who wants to wrestle?"
Hilarious.
Oh God! Now that's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
It was really creepy though. That was some creepy shit.
It's creepy. Yeah.
So watching that Iron Sheik documentary, there's a couple stories in there I want to drop from that have just stuck in my mind. One is people believed this stuff was real for a long time. Like when I was 10 in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, I guess I believed it was real.
I did.
But
absolutely, yeah.
Grown-ups, I've just been informed I was 10 in 1979. Thank you. Grown-ups actually believed it was real. And the Iron Sheik was so hated during the Iran-Contra scandal that he feared for his safety at times because there's people threatening violence against him. He's doing, Freddie Blassie was his manager, and they're doing an interview at a TV station, and this redneck and his son show up with guns.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh man, we ain't gonna let the Iron Sheik now. He ain't gonna take out. He ain't gonna disparage the United States of America like that. We gonna he's a threat to national security. And they show up with guns at the TV station, and they've got to rush the Iron Sheik out the back door.
Yep.
This is how fucking stupid some of these people were.
Well, let me weigh in on that, Alan. I remember starting to watch wrestling 9, 10, 11 years old. Yet, like we said already, all these colorful characters, and you would watch, especially Gordon Soley's bit. It'd be a small gymnasium, 30, 40 people there, and I'm sure they told them, keep screaming no matter what, how dull this gets. This is the greatest show you've ever, to play it up for the cameras. And you would watch it and laugh at it. But then as the more I watched it, the more I got drawn in to where there was a time where you were all about it.
Oh, yeah.
The surprise betrayals and tag team. He just can't reach him, and the tag.
Oh,
match.
no, they used to be friends. He's betraying his friend. Yeah. Oh, my God. I hit him in the head with a chair.
The dramatic tap out where he's just can't reach the corner and he finally taps him and new energy comes in
love that stuff.
Now that isn't to say these guys weren't really getting hurt. They get injuries. They really were hitting each other with chairs. They just learning how to take these pratfalls
Right.
In that Ric Flair interview, he talks about how they would have little razor blades.
And cut their forehead.
Yeah, they would cut their forehead so the blood would be all over their face. They get an extra $100 for cutting themselves.
Red, there was a saying: "Red turns to green." They got more money if they bled. At least that's what I heard.
But
so it was a physical, demanding performance, and they did get injured, but still,
that fed the argument. Somebody on our school bus had wrestling magazines, and all the guys would pour through these things. And when you saw, Ric Flair was one of them, covered in blood, you're like, you can't fake that.
Yep. You know? Those stills, right?
Yes.
The hair, and the sweat, and the blood. Oh my God.
Hulk Hogan with his arms out, and they talk about he had the largest
python.
All the way around.
Pythons.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. When the Hulkster. And Mean Gene. That shit was just as important to us at that age as Rush moving pictures or
Now I've got to follow up on your Iron Sheik example of stupid people. I've learned that Roddy Piper was stabbed 3 times in his life by stupid fans. By fans. Now
that thought the storyline was real and they're pissed at him because of the
right.
Yeah.
Now I actually met him, and it did not go. Really? It did not go very well.
Well, shit, Alan, you're going to tell us you're one of the people who stabbed him.
No, but he kind of treated me like I could have been. Okay, so which I don't blame him, but at the time I had no idea. I was 18 years old.
Right.
I sent you guys that snapshot. That was at the RPI field house where I went to college. It was at their field house where they had a wrestling match, and it was when, if you remember the Piper's Pit where Piper smashed Jimmy Snuka over the head with a coconut.
Yeah, that was big.
Right. So I saw them fight right here in Troy, New York. So Piper won the match, but by disqualification. He didn't pin him or anything. I don't remember what Snuka did. But guys, like I was a geek. I was, I'm just coming clean here. I had a man crush on the guy, I mean, he was my hero.
Yeah, he was awesome.
So
he was your Lemmy.
He was my Lemmy. Absolutely.
Yeah, there you go.
So after the match, I figure he's going to be splitting soon. So I leave. I go out, not stalkily, but I kind of walk around the parking lot, and then look, I'm just kind of walking around the back, and sure enough, I see him coming out a door. I'm like, Roddy. He's like, get away from me. I'm like, you're the best. Yeah, I went right over my head. I'm like, you're the best, man. You're the best. He's like, thank you. Get away. That was the extent of our meeting right there.
Hey, Silky, tell your Steve Martin and Tower Records story.
Well, so just to add to that, Roddy's coming off of a match and adrenaline, and I could see being like, oh my God.
No, I think it's specific. I think it's just specifically Alan.
No.
I think you should take it very personally, Alan.
I'm sure he had been stabbed at least once by that time. He probably just thought I might have a knife on me. And
how did he get stabbed? What was that? Do you know those stories?
He didn't say the details. He just claims that he got stabbed 3 times.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So Silky, you got to tell your Steve Martin and Tower Records story. It's related.
It's not funny at all, but I was worked in the book department. So you had Tower Records, all the music, and then, connected, you just walked to the right. There was a bookstore there. And one morning, it had to be a Saturday morning, I'm in there stocking shelves that we'd just gotten a bunch of books in, and just doing upkeep and going down the aisle, straightening, and it was kind of peaceful. You'd just be over there all day and really away from a lot of the customers. and it's early morning, and I see somebody walk in over to the magazines, and I said, "Hey, if you need any help finding anything, I'm back here." Which any customer would be like, "Okay, you know."
Right.
He turns around and leaves, and he has a bunch of magazines, and somebody at the front counter's like, "Oh, wow, you're Steve Martin." That's all they said. And he just walked out, left the pile, and like zero record. Don't talk to me. Don't.
Oh, Jesus. Oh,
and I was really, I'm a huge Steve Martin fan. I know he wrote for Saturday Night Live. He wrote for The Tonight Show.
He was little trivia about him. He was born a small black child.
I did know that.
Yeah.
I did know that.
Or poor black child. Yeah.
But
they say you don't want to meet your heroes. You're just going to be disappointed.
The only hero that did not disappoint was Lemmy. When we met Lemmy, he was
and even with Roddy telling me to get away from him, I was like, he talked to me.
Right?
He told me to get away.
Well, I mean, realistically, in a sense, Lemmy told us to do the same thing. You know?
Well, no, Lemmy was exactly what you would hope to see when you meet, and we've told this story before, but we're hanging out by the door of his dressing room, and there's a bunch of people kind of lined up waiting to meet Lemmy, and he just comes running down the hall. He's like 50-something years old at the time, running down the hall, dragging this cute early mid-20s blonde chick behind him, straight to the dressing room. And I
bottle of whiskey, and I swear it was two chicks, but I don't remember.
It was one or two. I slap him on the back and say, "Fuck Elvis, man! You're the king of rock and roll." And he goes, "Oh, I fucked Elvis once," and drags the girls into the slams. He the door literally
didn't skip a beat. I fucked Elvis once, all gruff and gravelly,
and just drags the girls in and slams the door shut. It was fucking awesome.
That is fucking awesome.
That's what you expect from Lemmy, you know.
And speaking of fucking, you just reminded me of another part of the Chic documentary.
Okay.
Near the end, he's apparently this social media like influencer almost, right? With his, I guess the point I'm getting to is all of his responses to anybody he doesn't like is, "I'm going to fuck you in the ass."
Yeah.
You know? I'm like, he may have some unresolved things going on.
He gets real. If you get under his skin,
the other thing he says is, "Who's the legend? Who's the legend?"
Yeah.
But it all started with the Kramer thing. When he was showing the Kramer thing, when Kramer was doing his stand-up and did the, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
Michael Richards.
That was his first time he went off on him, and he says, "I'm going to fuck you in the ass." And then from then on, every time they see him getting in.
That's his new catchphrase.
Okay. Fine. Good. Yeah. That's the Iron Sheik now.
The Iron Sodomizer. Speaking of the Iron Sheik, he played a key part in. So apparently, a lot of these idiots thought wrestling was real up until the late '80s, and there was a turning point where Vince McMahon, who was basically controlling most of it at the time, finally admitted that it wasn't real. And the Iron Sheik played a role in that. Him and Hacksaw Jim Dugan are riding in a car together on the highway in New Jersey, and the Iron Sheik has cocaine and weed on him, and they get stopped by a state trooper, and they get busted for the drugs. And that, believe it or not, that was not the scandal.
Nope.
The scandal was that Hacksaw Jim Dugan and the Iron Sheik were supposed to be mortal enemies who hated each other. And so why is Jim Dugan giving the Iron Sheik a ride? And that's what Vince McMahon was totally upset about.
Yeah.
More so than the coke and the weed. He said that Iron Sheik.
it's like the
what have you done to me? Yeah.
Yeah, he said, the Iron Sheik, what have you done to us?
Yeah.
And they both got suspended, and then a couple years later, I mean, it was a lot of these idiots, their brains, their synapses in their brain were starting to connect after that. Oh, maybe it is fake. They was giving him a ride. And so a couple years after that, Vince McMahon is trying to get I don't remember if it was the WWF at the time. I think it still was. He was trying to get them exempt from sporting regulations and taxation that's specifically aimed at sporting bodies. And he argued in court that, this is actually entertainment. It's all scripted. We shouldn't be subject to these taxes and regulations. Yeah. And that was part of it, was because the cat was out of the bag already, because the Iron Sheik done fucked up.
Well, I remember a reporter was interviewing Hulk Hogan or Andre the Giant, somebody, and they're asking if it's real or fake, and he picks the guy up and body slams him.
They would get offended.
Oh my God.
He slammed the fuck out of this reporter, and the guy's laying on the ground in a heap.
Who did? Hogan?
I don't remember.
Well, Hogan put Richard Belzer in a sleeper hold on Richard Belzer's show.
Nice.
And he passed out and busted his head open.
I think I remember that. I think I have a memory of that. Yeah.
Hated Hogan after that. It was he'd had it enough of,
these guys are all very unstable. Roid rage going on. There was some guy who killed his family. I forget what his name was, but there was a wrestler who killed his family. That's right.
Yes.
And they determined it was roid rage.
Well, you had Elizabeth, who was married to Macho Man, and she leaves him and goes to the Ultimate Warrior, and I believe the Ultimate Warrior roided out, but I'm not sure. But she mysteriously died, though.
Oh man!
Oh, did she marry Jerry Lee Lewis?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, that was the 50s.
Yeah.
But no, to make this show, we were going to call it Ric Flair. I wanted to just mention that he was adopted. He was a real wild child. Started drinking at 15. Was all state football and wrestling. And he actually got married in 71, had a daughter. And he's trying to figure out what to do with his life. He's a bouncer at a bar, and Ken Patera walks in to this bar, and Ken Patera was a wrestler. I think he was an Olympic wrestler.
Yeah.
And so they get to talking, and they hit it off, and they go to Vern Gagne's wrestling camp, and that's where Dusty Rhodes, Andre the Giant, Wahoo McDaniel, they were all in that first camp. 200 sit-ups, run 50 miles, just crazy feats of, stamina.
Sure.
And then they were also in a 6-passenger plane crash in 75. Johnny Valentine was a wrestler. He ends up being paralyzed from the waist down. But Ric Flair broke his back, and they told him, "You'll never wrestle again." And he ends up being like 2 inches shorter from this back injury from this plane in Wilmington, Illinois, I think is where Wilmington is. But he fought back. He would not allow this to stop him, and he was back in the ring 6 months later. So pretty crazy. He also got struck by lightning in 1983. They're in this he gets off the plane. He's got his briefcase, his umbrella, and he's walking. And all of a sudden, the briefcase or the umbrella shoots out of his hand. He says it goes up like 50 feet. And in the interview, he says this umbrella comes down and kills the guy behind him.
What the fuck?
And he turns around like, what the? Everyone's screaming, and this guy literally dies in front of Ric Flair, pierced by this umbrella. And
crazy.
It's really fucking crazy. But they were like, you just got struck by lightning. And, this fed his nonstop, unstoppable persona that, like he wrestled.
Tell the North Korea story. Do you know that one?
What, with Ric Flair?
Yeah.
I don't know that one.
He got paid to go to North Korea to wrestle. And I think Muhammad Ali went with him. Because he
talked about that on the Rogan thing, right?
Yeah, he was friends with Muhammad Ali. I think Muhammad Ali was like the referee on that match. It was something weird like that.
Yeah.
They were buddies, and they go to North Korea with another wrestler. And they're paid to do a big wrestling match, and it was a stadium filled with people, but attendance was mandatory. So it was a packed stadium.
Wow.
And they had their passports taken away when they got there, and they would not let him leave until he made a statement that North Korea could kick America's ass if a war broke out. And he didn't want to make the statement. He was resisting it at first, and they kept him there for like a few days after he was supposed to leave. Finally, he's like, all right, I'll make the statement. And, he makes the statement. Yeah, he makes the statement. This is all in the Joe Rogan interview with him.
Yep.
He makes the statement and gets the hell out of there. He's like, he said that was scarier than the plane crash.
Right.
Because he wasn't sure if he was just going to end up getting shot.
That's like the Beatles
in the Philippines. Yes.
In the Philippines.
Right.
And in Japan. When the Beatles were in Japan, they couldn't go anywhere.
Right.
It was very restricted. Mm-hmm. And they did 2 shows. By the way, that DVD is amazing.
Oh my God.
And then they leave and go to the Philippines, and they barely got out of there with their lives.
Right. They were lucky just to get out of there. Exactly.
I think don't they somehow stand up Marcos?
Yeah, they on there. It was supposed to be their day off, and there was this celebration.
Miscommunication.
Yeah, a miscommunication. They were supposed to show up at the Marcos's palace, for
one of the kids' birthdays or some shit. Oh my God!
Thing. Yeah, right.
Deep Purple had the same thing in Indonesia with President Suharto. There's a military dictator there where their roadies got taken out because they didn't want to do a second show or something. They were performing one concert, and they were scheduled to do one concert, and then he said, "Oh, you're going to do another concert." And no, we don't really want to do another concert. Then one of their roadies went down an elevator shaft and died.
Oh, shit.
And they were like, "I guess we're doing the second concert."
Oh my God.
They said that was the most difficult concert they ever played.
Holy shit.
We talked about that in the Deep Purple episode, but there's a theme running here in some of these countries where
yeah,
crazy.
But
just Ric Flair, they always talk about the amount of women, the booze, the partying, and then he comes off tour and he's got a wife and kids at home, and he's been married like 4 times. In 85, he had the 4 horsemen, was Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Ole Anderson, and Tully Blanchard. And those were when you were into wrestling, these super groups, it just filled seats. People wanted to see see them and shit.
He talks about in that interview with Joe Rogan, he would get up at 4:00 in the morning and do like an hour and a half he would do like 500 squats and then, hundreds of push-ups or whatever. He had this workout routine every morning. It didn't matter. He would go out and, do drugs and screw groupies and fall asleep at 2:00. He'd be up at 4 doing his workout every morning.
Insanity.
Yeah, it is crazy. Yes. I mean,
insanity.
Yeah. So he was an extremist on both sides.
Yeah,
partying and exercise.
The tragedy, though, is his son Reed gets into wrestling, and at a very young age, he was actually on some of the shows, but then he becomes a wrestler, and he had a drug overdose at the age of 25 in 2013. And I feel that Ric Flair was just not a good role model. When he wasn't Richard Flair, he was Ric Flair, and partying all the time. And it was cool to party with your kid who's 25 and all that. And
what did he OD on?
I think he was shooting up in Japan.
Yeah, that's hardcore. That's more than just partying.
Oh yeah. He almost died in Japan, and Rick flew him back, if I remember right. And then he's on tour wrestling and making a good career. And then he ODs in like North Carolina or something.
That sucks.
And but it's things like that bring Ric Flair down to human, where you just caught up in the celebrity and not paying attention to what you should be doing as a parent.
He talks a lot in that
scene.
Yeah, he talks a lot in that Joe Rogan interview about how he actually has had over the years a lot of self-esteem issues, which you wouldn't think, right. Somebody like Ric Flair, but I guess overcompensation on the other side. I don't know, but he took Xanax for a long time, and he started a weed company, and he eats gummies and does that instead of the Xanax now, which is probably healthier for him.
Right.
Yeah. Well, but apparently
if you think about the obsession of being a celebrity, and you need that all the time, and then when the lights go down and everyone goes home and you're Rick, Paul Stanley, New Year's Eve, he's got no friends, and he's in the biggest band, going.
Yeah. And he had a deformed ear that freaked him out for most of his life until he got it fixed in the early 80s. He always had his hair covering it, Yeah.
So there's your Kiss reference, kids. We
got to mention Kiss in every fucking episode. Ric Flair's daughter, Ashley, professionally known as Charlotte Flair, is a wrestling star in her own right. So one of his offspring has made it.
The oldest daughter, I don't know if she's into any of that, but yeah.
But
But yeah, I just wanted to get some of that Ric Flair stuff in. Peacock has a really good documentary. Netflix did as well. Just fascinating, but it's
we'll link those Ric Flair documentaries.
It really, once you start in, you all of these different wrestlers have really interesting backstories. Roddy Piper, I think he had 6 kids, same situation. There he is.
See, now this.
Oh, you got the action figure,
and it comes with a removable kilt.
Oh, there you
go. So you just get that out of the way, and did we? When he's got to throw down.
Did we mention that Beetle Bailey is wearing a kilt, or was that before we started? I think that was before we started recording. Beetle Bailey in tribute to Rowdy Roddy Piper, his favorite wrestler, is wearing a kilt tonight. So.
You can watch this on YouTube for free, but I bought this, way back.
Yeah, that's the one right there.
What is that?
Born to
Controversy.
It's a 3 DVD set.
Nice.
All Roddy Piper, and then
we'll link that.
Seen this movie, They Live?
Yeah, that's a tremendous movie. Allen came here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and he's
and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Yeah.
There's a YouTube channel called All Out of Bubblegum. It's all dedicated to Roddy Piper.
Nice.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
I've seen now. I got on a Piper kick, and I bought that DVD set that you showed.
Yeah.
I've seen They Live. I saw. There was one.
Oh, yeah. Hell comes to Frogtown.
Yes, where they're fighting aliens in the junkyard, and fantastic movie.
Yeah.
What's the name of that? What's the name of that DVD again? You said it's on YouTube.
It's called Born to Controversy.
Got it. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and there's there's a lot of really good interviews. He's talking about his life and his kids, and then they go to some of the wrestling, and that bit with Jimmy Snuka.
Oh my God.
Was like a total. He got him on there and like almost raised him up, and then just slammed him.
He knocked him. He knocked the whole, the backdrop over.
Yeah.
Which now you're looking at the back of a warehouse or something with all these big garage doors and and people just standing around. And he's whipping him. He took off his belt and he's whipping him.
And moments like that made you think, holy shit, this is real.
This is real. Yes.
Right.
I think we should call this episode "Get Away from Me, Alan."
Get away. That would be. I would be honored if you did that.
Get away from me, Alan. The wild world of wrestling, or something like that.
Oh, rest in peace, Roddy. I didn't mean to scare you.
Fucking hilarious.